This is itsavgbltpta, which stands for I totally suck at video games, but love to play them anyway, welcoming you once again to Otome Roundup, where I give you a mostly spoiler-free look at the eligible bachelors in an Otome game to help you, and the star bachelorette, figure out who to woo. Today's game is Cupid Parasite. The leading lady in this Otome game is Cupid herself. Sick of shooting arrows at couples from high up in Olympia, Cupid decides to do things her way and become a matchmaker down on Earth. She joins the Cupid Corporation as a consultant and quickly makes her way up the ranks to #1 matchmaker. Being the best means Cupid, known as Lynette Mirror in her human disguise, is given the task of finding a match for the Parasite 5, a group of seemingly hopeless marriage applicants. Lynette isn't looking for love for herself, but she takes on this Herculean task in order to prove she has what it takes to matchmake without using her magic bow and arrows. But maybe, even though she isn't looking for it, love will find her along the way. And hey, there happen to be about 5 men looking for love in all the wrong places, with that path leading straight to Cupid. Let's take a look at the Parasite 5. Gil Lovecraft is the first human Lynette meets, which turns out to be a fortunate occurrence as he's amazingly nice and helpful. He's fairly serious and studious, not one to break the rules unless a serious bout of passion brings him to it. Gil is a nurturer and is more than willing to change his life and goals to fit into the life of the woman he loves, caring for her every need and sacrificing his own ambitions to make her happy. Gil is a mix of motherly and codependent tropes, thinking of his lost love like a little baby chick and not knowing what to do with himself after she left the nest. Being with Lynette is a blessing and a curse as he wants to continue their old relationship or even move it up to the next level, but has to contend with her being oblivious. If you're looking for a love interest that will coddle you and base their whole life around you, Gil is the route to go for. Gil's route is available at the start of the game. This route definitely skews towards fantastical elements by the end of it, so beware of that if you were expecting a more normal route. Shelby Snail is the CEO of Cupid Corporation, which makes him Lynette's boss and the one to assign her the impossible task of finding matches for the Parasite 5. He is a pragmatic businessman to the core, with a packed schedule, leaving no time for fun and romance. But to keep up his perfect image, he needs to find a wife fast, and what better way than using the matchmaking service he owns. Shelby is a mix of kudere and naive tropes, believing that being viewed well by others will bring him happiness. His beliefs are pure, but once Lynette shows him how much better it can be to live life without worrying about how other people see you, he might start to change. If you want a love interest to be rational, but also willing to be molded into the idea of romance by your hands, Shelby is your man. Shelby's route is available at the start of the game. This route sticks to reality for the most part, though it brings a little action and mystery in towards the end. Raoul Aconite is a hot young actor whose newest role requires him to be a romantic lead, which is currently beyond his skills since romance has never been on his agenda. Everyone wants Raoul, and he isn't one to turn down an invitation. It's up to Lynette to teach him the value of romance. Raoul knows what he wants and isn't afraid to obsess over his passions, but romance is not on that list. Yet. Raoul is a mix of Genki and open-minded tropes. He's not exactly a playboy, but he also sees no reason to not have some fun when it's offered. Being with Lynette starts to show him that his passion can run towards people as well as mythology, though it takes him some time to realize his feelings. If you want a love interest who plays casual at first and evolves into a more obsessed partner, Raoul is for you. Raoul's route is not available until you complete at least one of the starting routes. This route goes off the rails into Bonkersville by the end, so be ready for that ride. Ryuki F.K. Sayan is an up-and-coming fashion designer who refuses to acknowledge anyone that doesn't meet his rigorous beauty standards. He's involuntarily signed up to find a potential marriage partner in hopes to expand his worldview and up his social skills, but all Ryuki cares about is creating new fashion designs to prove his talent to the world, and he isn't afraid to talk down to anyone in his way. Ryuki is a mix of tsundere and focused tropes. He's prickly and refuses to admit he likes people or things unless you catch him when his mind is so focused on one task that he forgets to be tsundere. Having Lynette around starts to soften Ryuki enough to realize people are more than just beauty on the outside, though that's still always important to him. If you want a slow-burning romance where your partner's icy exterior melts just a bit, Ryuki hits the spot. Ryuki's route is available from the start. This route is the most normal route of the game and barely touches on anything mystical or sensational. Alan Melville puts himself out as a guy who sells fancy pillows and is also willing to sleep with anyone who's already in love, which definitely causes problems as he only wants people in love with other people, making him a hard sell for marriage partner. But there's a hidden side to Alan involving the supernatural and his reasons for not wanting a serious partner. He's more aware of Lynette than she knows, but also very good at keeping his secrets. Alan is a mix of playboy and romantic tropes. He puts on a show going for anything with a pulse that yearns for another pulse, but at heart, Alan is a devoted partner for the right girl. It's hard to hide his intentions when that right girl is always at his side, so the romance bleeds through where Lynette is involved. If you want a love interest that is a bit flirty, a bit self-sacrificial, and also an incubus, Alan has you covered. Alan's route is not available until you complete at least one of the starting routes. This route has more about the world and history of the realm of the gods, but leans more into the drama rather than the weirdness of some of the other routes. I tend to like the protective older brother types, so I thought Gil would be a shoo-in for my number 1 spot, but he edged way too far into codependency and mother henning for my personal liking. Besides, how could anyone resist a seductive pillow technician? I liked some of the bad endings, and some didn't seem that bad at all. Nothing too shocking in this game, and no death in any of the normal or good endings. Hooray! After you play through all the routes, a secret route unlocks. There are no choices in this route, and it's a bit of an alternate timeline to the main game, but it does give more screen time to a certain someone that had a bit part in the main campaign. No more spoilers here, but it's a fun story. The mood through this game is almost entirely comedic and upbeat, with a smattering of some drama for the sake of it. Don't expect anything deep from Cupid Parasite, as you'll be disappointed. On the plus side, it's nice to play through a fun Otome game every once in a while where you don't have to worry about insane tragic pasts or everyone dying. Which eligible bachelor should Cupid hope strikes her through the heart? That's for you to decide when you play through Cupid Parasite. It's a itsavgbltpta! I totally suck at video games, but love to play them anyway.